Okay, so it is now 3:05. We can begin and just Mr. Yu would help us if anyone else gets in late. Hey everybody, welcome to another day of this week. I can't believe it's actually already Thursday, but either way, today we're talking about essays. I have with me James, Sabian, and the wonderful, wonderful Miss Nelson, who is also here. If you have any questions specifically to her, she's our college and career counselor, and she's great at giving advice. So first, just as the usual, our week today, we're giving out essays, and we only have one day left other than this one, which is our mental health discussion tomorrow. I'm really looking forward to it. I think we'll all be able to share a lot and learn a lot too. It's basically going to be like a list of things I wish people had said to me before I went into this process. So hopefully you'll be more prepared, not only academically and technically, like writing wise and all of that, but also emotionally and spiritually, because it can be quite a toll to process everything that comes with senior year. So yesterday, some people asked about the difference between research universities and liberal arts colleges, and what we thought of liberal arts colleges. So I decided to add this in. Well, these are some information I didn't want to completely just add stuff from my mind. I wanted to be sure that this is accurate. So I also got some information from Tufts University's website, and because they explained the difference quite well. So first, research universities are well known because they offer both undergraduate and graduate level degrees, and liberal arts colleges actually only focus on the undergraduate experience, so they only offer undergraduate degrees. Research universities are also usually way larger, reaching up to thousands and thousands of students, while liberal arts colleges usually really want you to focus on that small, tight-knit community. So they're often smaller. Sometimes they only have a couple hundred students. And research universities, they focus on acquiring knowledge through classes and research that professors conduct, while liberal arts colleges are better known for focusing on creating like a well-rounded education through like this common basis of knowledge that every single student has to go through. That being said, I still think there's a lot of nuance between the definition of the two, because within liberal arts college you can still do research and you can do a lot of it, and several research universities still have a very strong liberal arts philosophy. I think from the top 20s, Columbia and Chicago are very well known for maintaining that very strong core of subjects that students still need to go through in order to graduate. It gives them like this common experience that they go through some very specific classes that they have to take. And well, it's really more of a personal thing, I guess, researching it through the university. I would say keep your mind open. Both of these types are incredible. I applied to several liberal arts colleges. I got into Amherst College, and they are so great. I actually have an event later today, but I won't be able to go. But they are offering actually a talk with Angela Davis, who's a very well-known researcher, civil rights activist, quite some polemic opinions about her, but she is very famous, and she's going to talk about the African-American experience. Unfortunately, I won't be able to go, but I was so excited. So that just goes to say how amazing the opportunities at liberal arts colleges are. Some people don't want to really think about them because sometimes you don't have the prestige as other universities, but I would definitely say still look them up. They are amazing. Don't cross out a school on your list just because you hadn't heard of it prior to researching. And so but today we're here to focus on essay writing. I just wanted to give like a simplified version of the writing process, in my opinion, first. And this is the thing that people usually forget, but I think it's the most important part in any part of writing, is that you need to live through those experiences. You need to actually, see the things and change yourself and become a better human being in order for you to be able to write about it. It's the very basis of what you're going through. So please don't forget to actually exist outside school. It can be quite hard, especially if you're in a very regular course load, but also be a human being. and from that, you're going to begin brainstorming, which I think is the best part for you to do from right now up to the summer and the beginning of your senior year. It's really creating possible topics, brainstorming. Don't forget to plan. I'll talk about this a little bit more later. But it is definitely important to, have this thread throughout your essay that makes it make sense. And something I would recommend is keeping a list of the essays you need to write, so you'll be able to see which ones have similar prompts. Never be afraid of recycling essays. The only thing you need to be afraid of is putting the wrong school's name on a different essay, but we'll talk about supplemental essays a little bit later. And then after you brainstorm, you create some topics, you're like, okay, I can write. And that's really the combination of brainstorming and living. That's why those steps are so important. We usually think of, okay, writing, right? We're creating this product, but it really, the quality of your writing, I really think begins on the quality of your brainstorming and the experiences and the reflections that you've had based on what you've lived through. And don't forget that each person has their own voice. So writing is meant to sound like you, and it can vary a lot from individual to individual. And then after that, you revise. It is way more common than you think. And that's why you should not leave your writing to the last second. Yes, Miss Nelson is the type of person to go through the revision process with. Find good people to help you with feedback, because they will be there for you. And this is really the refining process, so you can get your essay to the next level. So first, on a little bit on brainstorming. First, if you're going through this, please don't stress out. You have a lot of time, even as a junior, but it is something to begin thinking about. Don't be afraid to try new things, even if that's a unusual topic or maybe something that you hadn't thought of. It is also time to really reflect on your experiences. If you're applying to the Common App, you have 650 words to talk about whatever you want. They have some prompts to guide you, but really there's literally an option in the end where I'm paraphrasing, but it basically says I'm writing about whatever I want, because it's your life, it's your voice. You can talk about whatever topic you would like. So it's really time for you to begin without that pressure of a deadline. That's why I think it's so important to start early. You really don't have too much pressure on your shoulders, like, oh my God, this is due in 1 week. I need to think of the best topic possible. Oh my God. No, it's really just when you have free time, think of some possible topics that you would like to talk about, something that really you think encompasses what your life is about, which is something really hard to do. That's why I think it's so important to step away, reflect on what matters, what you would like to share with your application, what type of message is important, what you want to show to those colleges. And this is something that I didn't put it there, but I was in a summer program, and there was an event on like essay writing. And this is something that the instructor said, and that really touched me, is that there's no such thing as a bad topic, just bad writing. Some people think that you can talk about some cliche things. I don't know, my story with my grandparents or my immigration story, just because a lot of people go through those things. But never be afraid of what may be seen as mundane or something of the kind. It's really not what really matters is how you turn that into your part. The only danger with some of the most general topics is that you make it as if like a one size fits all, when it's really not that. You want to make your essay as personal as possible. You want to make it as your own as possible. And also, please plan. I understand. Actually, I'm not the person to plan out too much when I'm writing. So I understand if some of you aren't as well. But I think with when you're brainstorming, it really helps like connect. This is what I'm writing about. Am I writing this in chronological order? Am I doing this about maybe different aspects of the thing I'm talking about? Because it really helps you see like that thread, what you want to share. You need to have a theme throughout your essay that you want to keep going from beginning to end. And that can be really hard to go through if you don't have a plan beforehand. And lastly, I wanted to share something, a resource that helped me so much on brainstorming, so much. This man is amazing, college essay guy. He is so great. Honestly, he has the best tips. He is so fun. He has a YouTube channel and he also has his own channel. I did a free workshop on essay writing that he did early June last year. And it was like 3 days, I think, but it was amazing. It was really what I needed to help give me inspiration so I could start my essay writing process, and that changed everything. So definitely recommend. I'm not sure if he's doing any big events right now, but he's great. Please check him out. James and Fabian, do you have any tips on brainstorming?
Yeah, like, so for brainstorming, what I did was like I tried to not confine myself to the desk when brainstorming. Like I would just be doing my own everyday thing, chores and whatnot. And like if an idea came to me, I would write that down as like quickly as possible on my phone or whatever, like on my hand or whatnot. And by the end of the day, I would have like a couple of ideas. And then by the end of the week, I would have like a whole list of what I would want to write. And then every week I would just go through it and be like, this idea is dumb. This idea is cool. This idea is even dumber, and then whatever. So yeah, don't like Ananda said, you need to start early. I feel like that's really important. So you're not feeling pressured to like find the best idea, because there's so many different topics that you can do. And yeah, just stay on top of your stuff, please.
I guess to add on to kind of the brainstorming idea, you shouldn't let it is important to brainstorm, and it is important that you get like a lot of ideas, like James said, or maybe every week or like every day something happened to you that you thought was significant, or like even like minor things that you remembered. Hey, I did this like in the past, this was kind of a significant thing in my life. It's also important, like you may have something that was very influential in your life or very impacted you heavily. Sorry, I have something in my eye. There may have been a really big changing point in your life that you kind of have sitting at the back of your head. It's important that you don't limit yourself to that one main thing, and you do like keep your options open of different prompts, of different ideas that you may want to write about in each of the different essays.
For sure. Just on adding up to that, I think one of my first ideas, and I was like, oh my God, this is it, was actually writing down like untranslatable words, which is like a hobby of mine. And I did a whole essay on how that connected to me. It was really cute. But then I also wrote another essay on the importance of Star Trek, the original series from the 60s, on my life. And that was also pretty great, but I was like, I'm kind of leaning towards the untranslatable words one better because I wrote it first, and I was like, you know, that attachment when you have, this is what I'm going to write, this is it, this is what I'm going to send. But when I actually sat down with Miss Nelson and it's just my clean, they were like, go with the Star Trek one, and that has made all the difference, right? So please keep your mind open, and also if you pick a topic your junior year, and you go and something happens during the summer and you begin your senior year with a different perspective, don't be afraid of changing it. really, if you change as a person, you're going to develop as a person as well. So don't be necessarily stuck into something you already wrote because you're already, okay, this is already great, I don't need to change anything. If you changed as a person and you think that this may not represent the best you, or that you can write something that's even more you, do it. Go ahead. And so now what I actually want to do is help you guys with brainstorming. This should be pretty quick. There's no pressure really. If you want to open a Google Doc, this is actually from College Essay Guy from my my boot camp last year, and he just wrote down some questions that I think really helped me at least think about some possible topics. It may help you have some ideas. So it's basically called Essence Objects. This is meant to be fun, so don't pressure yourself if you can't think of something at the right now. I'll send these up later through the Remind. This is really just meant to be a fun exercise. I hope you guys enjoy this too. But if you think about something, write it down and maybe why it's significant to you. There's no need to share. But I'm going to ask a question and you're going to think of an object that can represent that in your life. So what's an object that reminds you of home? If you think of something, great. If you don't, that's also fine. This is really just meant for you to start stirring it up in your memory, some things that are significant to your story and to your experience. What object makes you feel safe? It's a cool one. And then what's a food that reminds you of your family? For me, it's anything Brazilian, really. I just love Brazilian food. What object represents a challenge that you faced? And what's a dream or goal you have for the future? And hopefully an object that can represent that as well. What's something about you that sometimes surprises people? Does anyone want to answer that one? I think for me, one of that would be, I love theater. I'm a huge musical theater fan. I don't know, sometimes it just doesn't fit with the whole I don't know, maybe IB methane gel kid image that, but yeah, I'm a huge theater person. Who are you with and what are you doing when you feel most like yourself? That's a very deep one, actually. And then even if it's something that might sound stupid, I think it's important if you think about it and you're like, hey, this might be a thing, write it down. You never know when a good idea will come up. That's something I really learned. My dad works with marketing, so he's great at brainstorming, and he's my go-to person when I'm like, I have no idea what I'm doing. They just asked me this super hard question, I have no idea what I'm doing, and he's great at just tossing ideas around with me. And that's definitely something cool. For one, you can do it with yourself, of course, but also with friends. Don't let them manipulate your topic or whatever, because that's something they would do. Do something that you would do, but maybe having someone else there can help you bring in some fresh perspective. What brings you joy? For me, it's Baby Yoda. I love Baby Yoda. I don't know about you, but he's the best. What's hanging on your bedroom walls? What are you proud of? Oh, that's actually one of the optional Questbridge prompts. It's like one of your proudest moments, right? I did it on that one, I'm quite sure. Okay, what's an object that reminds you of something that still feels unresolved in your life? And what's an object that represents something you know now that you didn't know 5 years ago? When I did this one, I actually think I put down my TI-84 calculator, just because I had no idea what calculus was or how I could work it out 5 years ago. So yes, the calculator is a huge part of my life. Thank you very much. What action or gesture represents love to you? And love doesn't need to be romantic either. It's really any type of love. What do you like to do that does not involve technology? Really rough right now. I am aware, especially with the pandemic, but what will you say for your child someday? What's something that just matters so much to you that you're like, this deserves to stay in the family hall? What's the most memorable meal you've ever eaten or made? I've had a couple, I think. What's in your bag right now? Anything that's always there? Actually, this is not in my bag, but I met Representative Anas Kamani last year in January, and I did an internship for her in the fall. And I actually, ever since I met her, I have kept her card in my phone case. And I actually wrote about it to her when I had the chance to talk to her. So that's definitely something I would put. So see, it doesn't have to be big or incredibly meaningful, but sometimes these small things really add some texture and contextualize your experience. Don't be afraid of like thinking of the small things and maybe what other things they can represent in turn. Okay, I'm nearly done, I swear. What do you like to collect? And what have you kept from a trip? Imagine traveling. Wow. What's something that people associate with you? And that's the last question. Okay, I hope this was fun. I'll send this on the remind later. It was really interesting for me because you had the opportunity to actually stop and think about what matters. And having those prompt questions can really help too. I have some others from another thing later after the presentations and anyone wants it. And now that we've brainstormed, when we actually need to go actually do the writing, but what will you have to write? I think they're divided in two main categories. Your personal statement. That's usually only one essay unless you're doing QuestBridge, in which case it's a lot more, but they're really focused on like your personality, your experiences. You usually have a lot of more choice to go with in terms of what you want to talk about and what direction you're taking with the theme of the essay or whatever. It's really much more personal. And then every single college that you apply to under that platform will receive that essay, aka if you're applying through the Common App, then your personal statement will be sent to every school that requires a personal statement. And if you're applying through QuestBridge, every QuestBridge partner that you apply to will receive that essay, those essays as well. And then there's the other part, the supplements, which I should have focused on more, honestly. But they're really on that specific experience. Some of the common topics are why, like you mark down when you're applying a certain major. So why did you choose that major? Or then why do you want to come to the school? Or maybe your favorite extracurricular. They're big on asking that, like, what's a big extracurricular that has impacted your life, and why? Tell us about that. And this is really much more unique. It's sent to specific schools, but that doesn't mean that you can recycle. Please, let's help the environment and our mental health by recycling topics. If they're really close, just be sure that it fits the prompt, and that you're putting, like, definitely reread it, do some beta reading before you actually submit. Be sure that it's it's the right phrasing. If you changed anything, which is common, like you maintain the big part of the essay, but then you tweak some things to make it fit the prompt better or the school better or whatever. Be sure that it still flows well. Other than that, go wild with recycling. We love actually, honestly, it saved my mental health. It was great. Just looking at a prompt and being like, I have an essay that will fit this so well. It's amazing. And just some things I know we talked, especially Monday when we talked like the best part of our applications. We talked a lot about essays, and yes, it is true. Essays are amazing. There's so much more at your control, which is why I think they're so much more personal, and you can do a lot on them, but they're not the only thing. Please don't forget to actually pay attention to the other parts of your application, which may sound small, but are so important, like your personal information. It was actually quite timely for me because they ask more than I was expecting. They ask about, your family and everything else. Don't forget about classes and your grades, your extracurricular list with explanations. Pay attention to those explanations. Make sure that they're, that they truly showcase what you have done at your extracurriculars and are super basic. Also, additional information section, which you can talk about whatever that you feel wasn't portrayed well in some part of your application. And then the Common App added an extra additional information section to talk about the pandemic. I think it was like 250 words to 300 words, something like that. Don't quote me on it, but it's significant. So if you do feel that your life has been changed a lot by the pandemic, either personally or maybe work-wise, extracurricular-wise, any of that, definitely write it down. And actually, yesterday, we have a Discord with the MIT people, and some admissions officers are there. And I asked them for some advice for you guys. Most of them I have received some great responses. Most of them will come out on the presentation tomorrow. But one of them I really felt that was we're talking about right now. This actually connects to what Fabian said of like, if you have this big event, don't necessarily write about it. Definitely feel comfortable with the topics that you're discussing. If it's something quite personal and you don't feel good sharing it with a complete stranger, or maybe with someone close to you, if you still haven't processed it very well, you are under no obligation to write about it. So if it will be a toll on mental health, you have to sit with someone to actually disclose this information. Please pick your own mental health first. And this happened to me. I had a family situation that was like, okay, this was significant to me growing up. But I didn't really have a space to write about it. And I was like, I don't think this will be a good essay opportunity, but it was still very impactful for me. But I wasn't ready to write about it yet. Only when it came to one of my last supplements, I think it was Princeton. And they asked about like a conversation that you've had. And I was like, okay, this can fit. But it was still extremely personal. I had to do a lot of like reflection to see if I was still if I had processed it the way that I needed to actually write about it. And definitely wasn't when I started the college application process. So definitely as I said, you change throughout those couple of months. You hopefully process more of your things. Don't feel forced if you have this big traumatizing event in your life and you're like, okay, this defined me, so I need to write about it. Not necessarily. Do what's more comfortable to you and what you feel like you have reflected on enough, that you've gone through the process of, I am a better person now because of this. I have grown more as a human being. And if you still think it's important to, if that big event was important to add to the context of your application, you can include it in the additional information section. There's no need for an entire essay on it if you don't want it to be, because really it's about you and your topic. It's your application is yours. So you share the message that you want to share. And do any of you have any writing advice?
I think it's important to obviously highlight yourself, but then I think it's important to highlight that you are like a good match to this school as well. Because just like talking about yourself, it's cool and all, but then you need to make sure that your personality and like the qualities of you stand out, and that these qualities and your personality could be an asset to the college you're applying to. So make sure to highlight the important stuff, and don't like try to dwell on the minute kind of aspects, if you know what I mean. But it's like, then again, it's like there's a fine balance between those two, because then everyone has like that broad personality, but then you need to also focus on the little bits of your own individuality. So I think finding that balance between macro and micro is really important in writing. And I think once you figure that out and implement that in your essay, you could write a really strong one.
What James was saying about like everybody has like a broad personality or whatever, like something that's unique to them. If you think about it realistically, some of the bigger schools have, at least last year, broken the record of their applicants. They've had 50,000, they've had 47,000. It's ridiculous. So you need to find a way to stand out. These colleges, one, are looking for people that are looking to fit in with their community, their college community, fit in with just like they want to get to know you. And what better way than a personal statement? That's what it's there for. So they're not looking for robots. They're not looking for perfect 4.0, 6.0. They're not looking for 1600s. They look good, but I mean, what is a robot really going to contribute to the community of their school? It's another bullet point, I guess, that I wanted to point out that's already been mentioned beautifully by Ananda is be yourself. There's no writing a personal statement is already difficult and it's already stressful. Just write about yourself. Don't need to write about someone that you're not. Don't need to write about someone that you wish to be. Or I mean, if that's a prompt, then yeah, you should probably do that. But I mean, it's really just be yourself. Highlight some of the qualities that you think are, and that's where the brainstorming comes in. Highlight some of the things that you think are really unique to you, some things that you think stand out by yourself and that really define you. And that's not only going to make it a lot less stressful, but it's going to make it a lot easier. And hopefully it'll accelerate you into this kind of part of your application. Another thing that I wanted to say was take up all the space you can. So what I mean by that is within these colleges and their applications, they do, like with their prompts, they offer like sometimes additional information like Ananda had mentioned. And it's very important. And I guess each one has different word counts. It's important that you want to try and take up all the space you can. You want to try and get as much information as you can and try and fit it in there, because it is difficult and it's a scary thought to think that you only have 250 words, 300 words to try and fit who you are like to a college. It's very scary. I understand. And that's where Miss Nelson comes in. She's amazing reviewer. Yes. So yeah, just try and take up as much space as you can. If you see an additional information, I think for QuestBridge, the additional information box had like 650 word count. So really that's the amount of word that the Comment app gives you. So really taking advantage of that. Write another essay of whatever you want. Just put it on there. And I guess moving on is like start now. It is not too early to start. I think it's wonderful that Ananda is doing this. I think it's awesome. Wanting to give back to the juniors. I think thank you so much for this opportunity. But it's really important, and I wish like somebody would have really put it through my head. Start like now, even if it's like something that you think is terrible to turn into Miss Nelson. Like just do it. She'll tell you it's terrible, and then from there she's gonna build it up. But just put it on a Word doc. Just create, even if it's something that's create the Google Doc now. Just do it, and then in a week later, put like a couple words on it, and do that over the summer, because I think it's just the value of work and just the difference of how it could look versus how it looks. It's going to be quite significant. So really just do yourself that favor and just start now. I think that's if you're going to take away something from today about the college essay, is start now. In addition to obviously start talking to your counselors and make that relationship with them.
Yeah, I think. Oh, sorry, no.
No, you can go. You can go.
Yeah, I think starting now is really important, but it's not as easier on you, but it's also easier on Miss Nelson. And then, because a lot of kids will start like cramming their essays in like second quarter, and then Miss Nelson's just like overwhelmed a lot. So then she won't be able to give you like the quality and attention that you deserve for your essays. So yeah, starting now helps you and helps Miss Nelson. So just remember that.
Yes, remember Miss Nelson is still a human being. She may have nearly magical properties of improving your essays, but she's still real. And she still needs her sleep. So yeah, please don't send her work over winter break. She won't read them. She won't read them. Definitely, yeah, thank you, Laura. You have both put it in such amazing words. That's why I think it's so important to have other people here. I could talk for like an hour, but it's never the same thing as having your own perspectives, and like we've all been through our own problems, and sure, we've been through like a lot of shared experiences, and that's great, but we also have different perspectives to talk about. So thanks a lot for adding that in. Also for writing, it is very different from the essays that you're used to doing. So get that practice in, even like Fabian said, even if it's awful, at least you're going to have more practice with talking about yourself. It's not bragging. I think at least I had a lot of that. I'm like, don't talk about your accomplishments. Really push them to the side. Don't really communicate a lot on them. So I never had that huge experience on, hey, this is what I've done with my life, my huge 17 years of existence. This is what they've been for. But so writing, it definitely took me a little while to getting used to sharing all that stuff. It felt a little bit personal, as if I was bragging too much. But that's exactly what practice is for. And also, you can use all those techniques that you've learned. I think it's AP Lang or something, that you can repetition, imagery, all the things to make your essay more appealing, a little bit different, that makes it stand out. Do it. There's really no problem. If you want to add some visual imagery, some little symbolism. I remember on my 500-word essay, I used like a silence versus voice motif to talk about like my political awareness. I was like, whoa, that's big brain. I'm going to use it. And it actually ended up quite well. I'm proud of it. And also pay attention to tone. I think Suha mentioned it a couple of days ago. But it's definitely important sometimes when you're talking about the challenges that you faced. It's very easy to focus on, like, when you relive those memories, it's really easy to, remember how you felt and how difficult it was, really. So it's really, really easy to fall into those negative words and those negative sentiments, those feelings that you were having, but it's still important to end up on a hopeful note. They want students that are still they're mature, that they have processed these experiences, even if they were quite traumatizing. That's why, like, if you haven't finished going through it, you don't have to write an essay on it. But if you have gone through it, that's amazing. Don't forget to focus on why and how you've grown from that experience. And use your voice, really. It's so personal, it's so individualized. That's why we can only really begin to help you more once you have something already written, because you go through that process on your own, and then you can have people to help. And that's why I had this amazing section on revising, or why you should not leave essays to the last minute. So I did not know I was not sure if she was going to be here. So yeah, talk to Miss Nelson. She can give amazing advice. And also something, actually, I think it was Miss Heath that mentioned this. I was like, wow, this is so great. Our senior IB history teacher, she said, read your essays out loud. And that's a great idea, honestly. It really helped me for my IA. It helps you catch errors and like see your voice and timing. I'm a huge person on like writing run-on sentences. I don't think you've realized it, but I talk a lot. So it's really easy for me to just woo. So reading them out loud really helped, like, hey, check this out. Bring it a little bit. And because, these are people that don't know you personally. They don't know who you like, what you talk like, what you sound like, or all these little details that may seem like, oh yeah, they're for sure in there. But if they're not on that PDF that they download, if your information's not there, they won't know about it. There's no way, unless there's interviews, but those can vary a lot from school to school. So I'm not gonna like focus on them too much. But another thing is like come back to the essay with a fresh mind. So you finish that essay, you're like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever written. Totally, yeah, I'm getting the Nobel Literature Prize for this, like for sure. Spend a few days, don't look at that essay, come back. I'm quite sure your opinion is gonna have changed. It changed mine. My opinion changed a lot on it. It's definitely because it helps bring that perspective of someone, hey, I've never read this before. I'm reading it for the first time. What does it sound like? And that helps get into like the shoes of someone that's going to actually read your application. What about you guys? What do you think?
I think, well, personally, I use a lot of filler words because I think I'm just like so obsessed with making my essay sound nice and complicated and sophisticated. So I'm using these big words that make me look cool. But then when I'm reading back into it, I'm like, yo, these make zero sense. I could portray like the same idea in a sentence instead of what I wrote as a paragraph. And I think that's really important to be concise because you're fitting your whole life into one essay and there's no room to like beef up your essay with these kind of words. You need to be as concise as possible and get straight to the point. So make sure you take out those filler words because they're not helping your essay.
Yeah, this isn't, and I'm sorry if you guys hear any background noise, but this isn't your English class essay that you have due. So you just need to meet the word count. You definitely need to keep it concise, keep it real. This is who you are. If you're not the filler words, So like, you need like I said, you need to take as much space as you can with these applications because some of them have a lot of space for you to take up. They have like, I think one of the colleges that I applied to, they actually have 2 additional information spots with like 400 words each. So, and some of them don't. Some of them have only like 250 that you need to tell who you are in that amount of space. So you need to take advantage of that, of whatever the situation is, and you need to adapt. So just keep it concise and keep it real whenever it comes to your words. And yes, reading it out loud is going to help a lot with that. So definitely do that.
And also on additional information section, yes, definitely use them up for sure, but make sure that you're using them with quality, that you're not just writing it so you're writing it so there's something there. Write it meaningfully. I think this is general, like whatever you write it with purpose. Whatever ends up on your application is going to show who you are as an individual. So definitely do it with meaning. What do you want to share? Authorial choices that we talk so much in English, like why are you phrasing it this way? And some schools actually have specific things on like identity or maybe sexuality, and those are really, really optional. If you're like straight cisgender and you don't think that there's a lot to talk about with your sexuality, or if it's just going to be weird, then don't write about it. There's really no need. Those are really optional, but some schools say there's optional, like Harvard has some optional essays. Yeah, write those. And finally, does anyone have any questions? I'm very happy to say that like I think, as I've mentioned before, writing essays is so important. So I'm very glad to have such an amazing team of people helping me out here today. Definitely take advantage of this. Ask whatever questions you may have that are troubling your little minds. As before, it can either be through the chat or please don't be afraid to turn on the mic. Oh, and also just if you want to ask Ms. Nelson. Oh, Ms. Nelson, can you put your email on the chat, please? So they can talk to you and tell them about tell you about their biggest worries. Thank you. Yes.
I have a question. So I know a lot of colleges like it when you have interesting extracurriculars, and a lot of times they like to see you kind of express that in your essays. But like, does your extracurricular have to be something like actually super, I guess, impressive? Because I know there's like some students who go to like, like national competitions and stuff like that. But like some people are like have more hobbies like learning a language or something. I don't know if that's something worth writing about. Like, I guess the question is like how like we're talking about like your interests and your extracurriculars. Like, can it be really anything?
Yeah, for sure. I think compared to these two, my extracurriculars are definitely not good. I don't know what I even did in high school. Like nothing memorable comes to mind extracurricular wise, but that's why, and I think extracurriculars have a place in the supplementaries and your other stuff, because as like much as they interest you, like personally, well, obviously, like I said, I didn't do much extracurricular wise, so I didn't write about them as much in my essays. But I think it really depends on what kind of extracurriculars, because if you're really interested in them and you identify with it and you're saying like these extracurriculars represent me, then definitely add them to your essay. But I mean, if they don't, then you can just skip over them, because these schools are going to know what you did in high school. They know everything. They know all your numbers. So the personal essays are more of like, who are you outside of school? Well, I guess that's where extracurriculars comes to, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess definitely don't feel unmotivated to like, I hope I'm not speaking out of pocket or like speaking for any college or saying any wrong information, but don't like feel motivated just because it's not like some national competition or you didn't get first at Science Olympiad or whatever it was. Even if it was a small hobby like learning a language or whatever it might be to you, if it was significant to you and you feel like that represents who you are, definitely I feel you should be compelled to add it. Like I said, they don't want robots. They don't want #1 winners. They don't want people who reinvented oxygen. They want people who they see will contribute to their campus. And I think that it's 100% valid. If you think that carving wood like once a week was important to you, then really, I think you should add it.
For sure.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And just to add on to that, I have been reading a lot of MIT admissions blog posts. I don't know if this is healthy or not, but it's given me some pretty great advice. Especially after I got in, because then before that I was too scared of getting to attach to the colleges. But I'll talk about all that emotional process tomorrow. And one of the things that I read was that a few years ago, a person built a functioning nuclear reactor on their backyard and they applied to MIT and they didn't get in. And sure, that might sound a little bit scary, right? That person did all the impressive, I don't even know how that could possibly work and be safe. If I try to do that, it'll probably just explode. But actually, I think you take it from the perspective that like over 1,000 students were accepted that year and none of them built a functioning nuclear reactor on their backyard. So Sure, there's a bunch of extreme great stuff. Wow, I definitely feel like my extracurriculars weren't as great as some other people. I was looking at the Facebook group, and a guy there is actually the worldwide champion of the first robotics competition, and that's a huge competition for robotics, actually created by an MIT professor, but either way. And I was like, what? My extracurriculars are not even close to that, but they still accepted me. And sure, you will find, especially at these top schools, people with amazing, stellar extracurriculars, but they're not everything. A lot of people don't get in by just, by getting amazing awards, because I don't think that's what extracurriculars are necessarily about. And there's also, the whole opportunity thing. It's a lot harder for us in like an underdeserved community. Sometimes you have to work. It's really hard to, suddenly become the world champion at something, unless your parents have like millions of dollars to help you with that hobby or something. And admissions officers know this. What really matters is, as Fabian said, you have passion for it, if it's meaningful for you as an individual. Do things not because they sound cool, but because you're passionate about them. I think that's the best advice. Don't forget to live out your high school. Like you're still a human being. Don't do it just because you think, hey, this might sound nice for a college experience. Don't do it. Do it because you want to do it, because you want to explore, because you're a person and you want to grow your activities. Anything else? Oh, it's already nearly 4 already. So yeah, really don't be afraid to ask any questions. I think today we have stellar companions with us. But if there's nothing else, thanks a lot for coming, everybody. Thanks a lot for my partners today, Miss Nelson, Fabian, and James, and also, as usual, for Mr. Ye for thankfully hosting this Zoom. I'll see you tomorrow for our mental health check and for talking about our experiences emotionally. I think it'll be so fun. So hope to see you all tomorrow. Thanks a lot, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Oh, thanks a lot, Ms. Nelson.
It was my pleasure. I'm glad I got to be here. It was wonderful.
Oh, I'm really glad.
Great advice, everyone. That was spot on. So I hope they take it and run with it.
Yes, hopefully. Hey, if you have better essays next year, please let me know.
Doubt it, but you guys were so good this year. All right, well, I gotta go, but have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
So how's it going, everybody?
It's good. Thank you again, Ananda. I think this is like truly pretty awesome. Is this just like a project that you thought was pretty cool?
Yeah. I mean, I also need something for Cass, but I have been thinking about this for a while, and I just really like united what's useful with what's pleasant. That's an expression in Portuguese. And I organized this. I think having a strong community can help you so much with applying. And really, I feel like I've learned a lot through pain most of the times. And I really want to share this with other people because I feel like it's kind of unfair if all this stuff that we've been through just ends with us, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I think it's really awesome. So thank you again for
Yeah.
oh, sorry, my dog's barking.
Oh, you have a dog?
Yeah, I have 2 dogs.
Me too.
Are they big? Do you have big dogs?
Yes, I have a Dalmatian and a Lab.
Yes, I love big dogs. Mine are both hounds.
That's so cute. Oh my God, sorry. I just love dogs,
Yeah, me
honestly.
too. I love dogs too. Ananda, hoy como fue su día?
Oh, you remember? Oh my God. Bem, muito obrigada. Thank you. That was a sophomore year thing. Wow.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Yes, congratulations. Have a great memory.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, Ananda, I think I have to go help my sister with some errands. So thank you again
Of
for
course.
having me on here.
Of course. Will you come tomorrow?
I'll definitely make an attempt. Probably, most likely, yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you.
All right. Thank you again.
Bye, James.
I don't know. Thank you again.
Of course. This is great. Will I also see you tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
If I don't fall asleep again, but I'll make
I'll
an effort
call
not to.
you.
Yes. Thank you. All right. Have a
do.
nice day.
Thank you too. Bye. Thanks a lot, Mr. Ye.
No problem.
Sorry for affecting your like child picking up time with your
Oh,
wife.
no. Yeah, it's okay. It's taken care of, so it's not big
Yeah,
deal.
if she's mad at you, like don't worry, I'll write you a recommendation letter.
Probably need one in the future.
No, don't worry. And in your resume,
I'll-
just put my information there.
All right. I actually, matter of fact, I do. I didn't know your dad's in marketing.
Yeah,
I probably need to talk to him about some marketing ideas.
of course. Go with it. Do you have his
So-
contact information?
I think he did send me a WeChat message one day, and he said something, thank you, and I said, oh, okay, and I replied back. So he was very nice. He just said thank you for helping you. I said I didn't really help you. She pretty much did it by herself. So but yeah, I have his contact information, but I'm
Okay,
not.
great.
But anyway, don't worry. I'll see you tomorrow, and I gotta get the tutoring section started.
Will do.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Josephine and Miguel.
I'm driving right now, mister. Do you happen to have homework for today? Or
Yeah,
are you going
I
to?
posted.
Oh, you posted? Okay, I didn't get a chance to look.
I think I posted. I don't know. Did I post it?
What is it? Just more FRQs?
Yeah, there's 3 FRQ. No, I did not post it.
No. Well, yeah, I think you did. Yeah, you did. There's 3 FRQs.
Okay, that was all FRQ. Let me post again. Maybe I posted wrong class. Let me do that. I thought I did. Yeah.
Says you posted it 22 minutes ago.
Huh?
Says you posted it 22 minutes ago.
Did I post anything?
Yeah, it said you posted 3 FRQs like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's it. Ooh, read mine. It's over team. Calculus, AP calculus. How do you know that riddle? Where'd you find that at? Okay.
What, the locker riddle where each person like
Yeah.
open and close the locker? I don't know. I think I saw it in like a TED Ed video like a couple of years ago.
Oh, okay,
And-
that's interesting.
And then this one girl was like, she's a genius. And then her uncle's will said, okay, you and your other 99 cousins are going to help find the code of 100 lockers in my basement. And then whoever gets to find it first keeps the money. And I'm like, this sounds interesting.
So you didn't solve it, right?
Well, I've heard of it.
Oh, I thought you solved it. That's pretty impressive. Because I was trying to solve it when I read a problem.
Yeah.
I do see the reasoning in though, because if each person opens and closes the door, if every time it's even, it's going to be closed. Like if one person opens it, that's an odd amount. And one person opens it, three opens it, and five people open it. It's an odd amount. Therefore, it still has to be open. And when it's even, it has to be closed. And since each number has factors one in itself, like even prime numbers too, then I'm like, wait, perfect squares have an odd amount of factors, so they have to stay open.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, I mean, that's very impressive. Even you can think of that, because that requires some different thinking rather than normal path of thinking. I did see some of the question. I think it's called hanging bridge questions. Like Google or Amazon was trying to hire somebody. They have a hanging bridge court problem, and it was really interesting. It will end up like you just needed a little bit of common sense to figure out. It didn't even need like a math, like you don't even need a major in math to figure the things out, which is
some riddles are like extremely straightforward, and like some of them is just a little too complicated.
Yeah, that's really cool that you can figure out. That's good. Okay, so we got Josephine, you were saying something?
Yeah, I tried to go to Moto to check the homework and it kicked me out. But for the third FRQ from the last homework, are we gonna go over that in class tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll have more time. I go over now. I cover all the topics. And tomorrow we're gonna practice the El Hapto rule FRQ. So we will have we are pretty much done. The only thing we didn't do is the summation. Summation, that one really required 3 days to 4 days, and mostly likely people don't get it. So I'm not even bothered to try. And that's only one question, multiple choice, so it's not worth it.
Okay.
So we are done with the topic. So the only thing that for you guys left to do is work on multiple choice, being very precise on multiple choice, and hopefully that most of you guys can retake the exam like on Saturday and see, because only one test doesn't really measure your weakness.
Yeah, will you do another one of those practice tests like on Saturday?
Yeah, so I'm gonna do it this Saturday. So that way we can tell like if your strength improving or have gotten weaker after a week, or the last test maybe just a fluke, or maybe last test just one of your worst tests. So by doing so, with two tests will be more accurate. Now, some people, if they score above 40, they don't really need to do a second test, because even their second test is not going to be far off. 40 on multiple choice at least. But if they score 40 on multiple choice, more likely their FRQ is going to be somewhat just as strong, because that's going to be a very accurate assessment. But if you score like say between 20 to 30, you really want to get above 30. You really want to get above 30 to get a 5. I mean, you want to get 30 to get a 4 and above 35 to get a 5. So that's the goal you want to try to get to. Now, it's not too late for Josephine or Miguel.
Wait, question, Miss. Can you hear me right now?
Yeah,
I can hear me. My connection is really bad.
No, your connection is fine. Drive carefully, okay, please.
Well, so you're still unsure what time you'll have? I'm driving carefully. Don't worry.
What'd you say?
It would be the first time. I'm driving carefully. Don't worry. I've had meetings in the car. But do you know what time? Maybe on Saturday, because I don't want to miss it. and I don't think I'll be able to do it after Saturday. I think the best time would be Sunday, but I know you can't accommodate to everyone. So
Yeah, I can accommodate an event. So I probably set it like a couple of different sections. So like last time it will be 9 o'clock. And try to be like, also I have like a Google sign up sheet. So you want to be a 9 o'clock section, or you want to be a 12 o'clock section, or you want to be a 3 o'clock section. So whatever like that, and that's fine. I would like to more precise timing. So that's why we want everybody start at the same time. And also, I don't want to people. I mean, I don't think any of you guys would cheat, because there's no point cheating on this type of test that I the really just want to improve for you, everybody. But I just want to see people have a set time limit and can work under stress. Because work under stress is different. Now, if we work on 4 hour on a 3 hour exam, so this really it's not effective, right? I really want you to set a time, release, and you take it, and by 3 o'clock you finish, or by 12 o'clock you finish, and that's what I want to schedule. I want to set that time structure for people to feeling the sweat and stress. And it's not because I don't want to not give people a flexible schedule. It's just because I want it to be like a real test situation now. And a matter of fact, to be very accurate, I should start at 8 o'clock, because that's what time your test is gonna start, at 8 o'clock in the morning. And some people don't work well at 8 o'clock. Like if you take a class, if you take a test at 1 o'clock, and you have sleep in, but your brain doesn't function at 8 o'clock, then it's actually not a very good adjustment. So.
do you think that you'll have times on Sunday at all, or is it going to be restricted to Saturday?
I tried not to do anything on Sunday, so I already a lot of things to do between weekdays. So
Okay.
so hopefully, if anything you want to work with, like maybe after school some of the days, that's fine. But you just have to let me know ahead of time, because I'm just tutoring, and when I release the test, just few button for me, so it's not a hard issue. So, but I want everybody to take a set time, and so I can go over a set time, and that is another things I wanted to get accomplished. So you have to see it from my side, as opposed of you see it from your side, because my side is it's not because of accommodation issue, is because I want to go over the test, but some people didn't take it. I didn't go over it, and it's kind of like that issue. So and the things I just don't want to work on Sundays too. So try, I'll give you different times so you can like try to fit in your schedule. And I know like Anam told me like they have praying or whatever, but I'll give her enough time schedule they can schedule in time.
Okay.
Mr. Ye?
Oh, what's up, Diego? Oh, you are here.
Yeah. Oh, is it at 5? I thought it was from 4 to 5. If it's at 5, I can come back later.
She said she can do it at 4:30 if you have time. If just go by your schedule, don't worry about her. You are more important.
What? No, she's the one I'm doing it for.
Yeah, you set a timer for her to help her. But she said she got to pick up her sister, and she'll be back at 4:30.
Okay, that's fine. Is there do you know exactly what she needs? Because then I can start preparing. Because I feel like I want to help her, and I don't want to mess anything up.
Oh, just today and yesterday's homework.
Okay, let me go over and see if I slipped up on anything.
Yeah, just do your homework, and if you have any question, you can still ask me, because
Okay.
I'm just helping the calculus kids right now. So, but you still can ask me. But since there's only 3 of them, so
All right. I'll stay here then. I'll go. I'll just keep doing my homework and see if I can perfect anything.
okay, sure. Thanks.
Thank you.
What?
What?
你看什么？
没有 Nielsen，它是一个纽约的上市公司，它就 select sample，you cannot apply for it，you just you be selected。
假的，假的。那骗人的。
为什么你觉得骗人？
骗人的过去呗。
啊？
我的是。
他没有给我钱，他是给我一个 gift basket 对吗？那个女的给我一个 gift basket。
Who gave you?
The Nielsen Company。
那小心 scam， 很多 scam。
No，他这个是 collecting data 的，他是会给你装一个东西，就看你平时是在看什么 TV show 啊，什么东西。
No，please, that's bad.
为什么
？They can put a scam on your computer. Please don't do it.
我又不放 computer。
No. 啊？
放 TV 上就好了。
What do you mean? On TV, not on computer, right? Not on cell phone either. Be careful. Okay. I think they are data mining. Be careful.
Here, I want me to show you this.
I think this is very shady.
Hi, I'm from Nielsen, the TV ratings company. We help shape media and entertainment for more than 50 years, but we can't do it without you. That's why you're invited to be a Nielsen family and contribute to the TV ratings. It's a unique chance to let your voice be heard. Only a percentage of people are selected to represent their communities.
This sounds like a scam.
Participating is easy to do, and you'll receive thank you gifts. A Nielsen representative will give you everything you need and help you get started. Then, by viewing TV as you normally do, it's a little or a lot. You're letting us know what you like to watch. This information is collected securely and automatically sent to Nielsen. Then you combine it with information from other households, science and statistics to get the TV ratings. The ratings are necessary because they let stations, companies, and advertisers know what's important to you. What's next? Set up an appointment at your convenience with a Nielsen representative to learn more about the benefits of participating. We're looking forward to welcoming you to the Nielsen family.
I check on Reddit. Reddit says maybe legit. Are you guys doing okay?
Yes, I'm just starting the homework.
Yeah,
Fine.
I went over the last one just in case. So now I'm starting the new one today. I mean, right now.
Diego, do you need help with anything?
I think I might have a question about the section 8, or like the last thing we did before class ended. It was I actually wrote it down. Hold up. Yeah, it was inverse of cosine, and then parentheses cosine 8 pi over 5, and then the answer was 2 pi over 5.
Yeah. So 8 pi over 5 is that fourth quadrant, and the
Okay.
reference 8 pi over 5 is going to be 2 pi over 5. So you think about a reference angle. Now 2 pi over 5, just make sure cosine is positive there and it's within the restriction, then you're fine.
Oh, okay. I don't know what was I thinking earlier.
Yeah, that's why we're doing the reference angle. We talk about reference angle because anything in trigonometry is all based on reference angle.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. So for the next question, let me see if I got it right. So the next question is cosine of inverse of 1, and then in parentheses is cosine 7 pi over 5. So would that also be in the fourth quadrant, or would that be in the third quadrant?
It will be at the second.
It will be in the second?
Because cosine inverse is the first and second.
Yeah, and then cosine sine is first and fourth. Okay. I mean sine cosine. All right, let me actually make a note of that. So cosine inverse again.
So the answer of that one, I believe, is 3 pi over 5. If you say 7 pi over 5,
yeah,
it should be 3 pi over 5. Yeah, it should be, the answer should be 3 pi over 5, because at 3 pi over 5, it's going to give you the same reference angle as 2 pi over 5, but you want the cosine to be negative.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr.
Good. Yes. There is.
Mister, let's say if they were like actually like grading your FRQ. So let's say like if one of the marks is you have to have like the derivative of x, do you just have to have like just the actual function correct, or just as long as you like stated it, do you get the full mark?
You have to take the derivative. They told you to take a derivative. So
like the full derivative part, you still get the mark, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to take the whole derivative. Yes. I don't know which question you're talking about, but
I don't know, just a hypothetical scenario.
Mr. A,
yes.
do any of these questions need calculator?
Depend on the question number.
Question 1 and 2 always use calculator, so just question 1, and that's it.
Which one is question 1?
It's the one with the area, find the area of R.
Oh, do you mean like actually question 1? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, like if
Okay.
it's a question 1 or 2, you need calculator. The rest you.
Got it. Thank you.
Wait, where's Nada? Let me send her a message again. Diego, do you understand?
I think so.
So basically use a reference angle and you had to be in that quadrant. And then you had to fit in restrictions and you had to make sure that is the final angle is. So it's kind of like complex process. So that's why I told student that section is like, I mean, you can ask like, I hear there's like 4 calculus kids and none of them will remember that. It just one of the subject is like should kind of like, it's important at the moment, but even that's a kind of, it's like an over, it's over even for trigonometry, even for pre-calc. So it's actually going over more than the curriculum is assigned to be. So her name is Nada. She's in the room right now. So I'm gonna put you in a different room. Is that okay?
Yeah, of course.
Nada, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so you're gonna work with Diego, and you can ask him anything. He's very patient, so at least I think so. But so he will kind of guide you through. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Do you guys have any questions?
For the 6B question, how would you justify your answer
Are you
You
talking
didn't make a table,
about yes question or today's question?
today?
Oh, I'm the
Yeah. I think you would have to make a table because you got x equals e, right?
Yeah, I did.
What I did is that I made a table of x equals 1e and e squared. But I mean, I got it wrong, I think, because I got neither.
You didn't get. Mhm.
Because it says it's a
Yeah.
relative maximum or neither.
Think no. Number line would not help, right? Probably not.
Which one for?
Part B.
for
What?
number 6.
Because you would have to find, I think you would have to find like the last, like something close to it and find whether it's positive to negative or negative to positive.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you have to do x equals 1 and then just determine it from there.
I'll tell you in a second. Give me a sec. Question 6, right?
6b.
6b. 6b. You just have to take a derivative set equal to 0, and the x should
Yeah,
be
we got
e.
that part.
X should be e, and because f prime of x changing from positive to negative at x equal to e.
So would you, for the justification, would you do like a number line or a table or?
Definitely number line.
Okay.
Number line, okay.
And I remember this question because I give you guys this question before. The x squared does not change. X squared does not affect the number line, but it does offer a point in there. And it should do a test between 0 to e, e to infinity. And by plugging, okay, between 0 to e, you can plug in like 1. And by greater than e, you can plug in square. And then you just the sign change. But remember, the number line does not show you the justification, but it is needed. But you do have to write it, like justify, you have to write down.
So like you would write f of xe is approaching from positive to negative, therefore it's a relative max.
Well, you have to write down f prime of x.
F prime.
Yeah, from positive to negative, yeah. I think this is one of the homework, one of the test question I gave it to you guys before. Frank will probably remember this, right? I think we give a test question just like this one.
So you would just write that the critical point is x equals to e, and then it is a relative max because f prime of x is going from negative to negative to positive.
No, it's actually from positive to negative.
Oh yeah, I mixed it up.
You didn't do number line tests. You gotta know how to do number line tests with the E.
Yeah, I did number line tests. I read it wrong.
Okay. But most important thing, you have to write down f prime of x equal to 0. If you don't write that, then a lot of things not there.
By that you mean like when we set up the problem to solve? Because I just wrote the equation for f prime of x and then I set it equal to 0.
Yeah, that's what I did. Sure, yeah. Mr. A.
I think it might be gone. Do you have a question? One second.
Yes. How would you do 1D?
Wait, which question?
Oh, 1D.
The first one? Limit x approaching 0?
No, it's
Do you
the
mean-
one with the region R.
Area. Yeah, the area.
Oh, the one with the, okay, let me look at that one. The one with the area?
Yeah.
A particle moving?
No, the one with sine pi x and y is equal to x cubed minus 4x, and then with R and all that.
This one is with calculator, I think, right?
Yeah, this one's with calculator.
So all you got to do top minus bottom.
How would you do D?
Oh, do D. So regions, let me read it, okay? Okay, so region R model surface is small pound. At all point of R and distance x from the y-axis is the depth of the water given by h of x. Oh, okay. So volume equal to depth times the area. Does that make sense?
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Does that make sense or no?
What do you say? I heard value and area.
Yeah, volume is equal to area multiplied by the depth. You're good at geometry. This one should be very easier to come up with.
Okay.
And you have the depth function, which is 3 minus x. All you gotta do is minus. All you gotta
So
do
you
is
just multiply it by the integral?
Yeah, multiply by the top minus bottom. Then you do integral after that.
Okay, so
If you did it right, it should be 8.369.
8.369. Okay. So it's basically A, except you multiply 3 minus x, but you put it inside the integral, right?
Yeah, you put it inside. Yeah, so it'll be two things multiply each other, but your integral just basically adding each slice together. But it's just basically the area and multiply by the depth. Because you think about a swimming pool, right? Swimming pool is the top part is the area, right? And if you multiply how deep the swimming pool is, then you got the volume of swimming pool. Does that help you visualizing?
A little bit better, yeah.
So it's not like they don't try to purpose, they're very asking very straightforward in 80% or 90% chances. So
Mister, can you explain 6C and 6D, please?
we actually
I can explain 6D.
Yeah, I'm really bad with limits. I don't know why. Just it left my head.
Okay, you can try to explain 60. I'll let you
Okay,
try.
so 6D. So you know the hospital rule, right? Or whatever the rule we did today.
Oh, is it that?
Basically, you take the derivative of the numerator and the denominator, and then you end up with 1 over x, and it's limit x from the left side, right, or from the right?
It's from the right, the positive side.
Positive, so it's from the left.
I actually don't know. That's a
No,
good
right.
question.
On the right.
From right? Yeah.
From the right. Okay.
Okay.
So, and then, so if it is approaching 0 from the right, it's going from positive all the way to 0. So like 0 0.1, 0 0.001, 0 0.000. So, and then as you keep going, the number gets bigger, and then it should get infinity, or does not exist.
Okay, so I think Miguel, you had the right idea. You had the right idea, and you probably would get it right because according to the scrolling guideline, you would get it correct. But think about it, right? If you approach is 0, the bottom is going to 0, and the top is going to go to. Remember the natural log of x graph is intersect at
the first and third quadrant, right?
Yeah, it's between first and fourth quadrant, and it's gonna be it's like a function. You can plug in a decimal to see natural log of x graph, and as they go towards 0, natural log of x is gonna go to negative infinity. So it'll be negative infinity over 0, and that's why it does not exist. Because the graph of natural log, because this is actually not 0 over 0, because you have to use L-Hopital rule here, and so that's you cannot use L-Hopital rule in this particular case, because natural log of x graph, if you look at a graphing calculator, you look at the natural log of x graph, as the x approach 0 is going to negative infinity. And the bottom part is going to approach 0. So it be negative infinity over 0. So eventually that's undefined. Okay, so because the bottom is equal to 0 regardless. So kind of you can like wing it, just according to what you said, you want to get a point. But I think understanding is still not there yet, but it's fine. You will probably get that point. And did you ask about C or no?
I asked about C because I know that you have to take the second derivative to find inflection point, I think.
And then equal to 0, right?
Yeah, but I got something I was going to get something messy, and I don't know how I would solve for these error from them.
I got e to the 1/2.
Actually, it's either 3 over 2.
Oh. Well, I missed one thing.
I'll just continue working because I didn't finish it, but I was looking and I was like, maybe this is probably not the right way.
You have to distribute it. You should have used quotient rule. So you should get negative 1 over x times x squared minus parenthesis 1 minus natural log of x of 2x.
Oh, I think I forgot like a 1 somewhere.
Wait, you have to use quotient rule again on the already like done
so
the derivative.
they give you the first derivative, right? They give you f prime.
Yeah.
And then to find inflection point, you do the derivative of the first derivative.
Yeah. So you had to take the derivative again.
Oh, I split it up into 2 fractions.
Actually, it can be done if you do that.
Really? Which one will be?
If you do that, but it's not pretty.
Yeah, it was very ugly. So I'll just try the second one.
Only time that you do that is you have something to simplify. So let's say e to the 2x minus e to the x over e to the x. That's something you can simplify, then you split, right? So in this case, if you split, you just get 1 over x squared and natural log of x over x squared. You didn't really avoid any rules, because when you split, you want to avoid rules. But I hear if you split, the second part still need to use quotient rule, and the first part is actually power rule, and it's actually there's a negative sign in the front, cause the quotient rule is going to be all flipped. So it's actually more gross than what you start with. So that's not something I would approach. But then you got to think about what's the best way to do it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll keep that in
sometimes
mind.
like 1 minus natural log of x over x squared quotient rule is not that bad.
Mhm.
But distributing and the things like that, and this is an actual exact test question. Like I say, exact test question that we have. If you go back and look at derivative test, we have exactly one question like this. And the answer was exactly e to the 3 over 2. Believe it or not, this is an actual test question I gave out before. It wasn't by it wasn't by accident, it was by accident, but you know, but it's still a good test question.
Yeah, I forgot a 1
Yeah, you forgot one.
for the natural log of x, and I put e on each side.
No, yeah. And yeah, sometimes we all do that. So just kind of cautiously go back and look at it. Okay, let me see.
All right, I gotta go. So later.
Oh,
Bye. Thank you.
I'll be back. I gotta go help with pre-calc kids. I'll be back. Okay.
Bye.
Hey guys, I think I'm gonna go too. So bye.
Bye.
Oops. I forgot to end the live stream.